Hey guys, today we will be doing a list of the 20 oldest monsters and beings in fiction, which would include movies, animated series, games and more. We know that we are going to miss out on some of your favorites, so do comment the ones that we did not include, and we will research and maybe make a part 2 based on how many there are. Anyway, let us start with the list. Number 20. SMAUG from the 2013 movie Hobbit: The Desolation of SMAUG. SMAUG was a fire drake of the Third Age, considered to be the last great dragon to exist in Middle-earth. He was drawn towards the enormous wealth amassed by the dwarves of the Lonely Mountain during the reign of King Thror, and laid waste to the neighboring city of Dale and captured the Lonely Mountain. For 171 years, SMAUG hoarded the Lonely Mountain's treasures to himself, staying within the mountain. It was said that the dragon was a young dragon when he entered the Lonely Mountain, and so this would make him easily over 200 years old in age after the 171 years of hibernating inside Erebor. Number 19. THANOS from Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame. THANOS was a genocidal warlord from Titan, whose own main objective was to bring stability to the universe, as he believed its massive population would inevitably use up the universe's entire supply of resources and condemn it. To complete this goal, THANOS set about tracking down the Infinity Stones, as the combined might would wipe out half the universe. As stated by the director of the movie in one of the interviews, THANOS was at least 1000 years old, but could have been much more older. At number 18 comes the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers movies. The Creeper is a fictional character and the main antagonist in the 2001 horror film Jeepers Creepers and its sequels Jeepers Creepers 2 and their interquel Jeepers Creepers 3. It is an ancient mysterious demon who seeks out organs from humans to replace its own old or damaged ones. It hunts for 23 days every 23rd of spring by scaring its victims and using the scent of fear to determine what it needs to feed on. The monster is easily over 2000 years old and seems to be immortal. Number 17. SABAH from the 2016 X-Men Apocalypse. SABAH was born nearly 5,000 years ago in a lone settlement in the very edge of the Emented, in the very edge of the Valley of the Kings in ancient Egypt. As Nur grew, he surpassed the other tribesmen in intelligence and strength. Everyone in the tribe, except for Baal, hated and feared Nur for his inhuman looks and great abilities. He was one of the first mutants and was worshipped as a god in ancient Egypt. He was later trapped during a ritual and was reawakened in 1983 and was finally defeated by the Phoenix Force, and he was 5,000 years old then. At number 16 comes the White Walkers from the Game of Thrones. The White Walkers were an ancient race of formerly human ice creatures who came from the far north of Westeros. The White Walkers were 8,000 years old, coming in from the time preceding the Age of Heroes. Born of powerful and untested magic, they were created to protect the children of the forest from the first men. However, the White Walkers eventually broke free of the children's control and became one of the most feared creatures in Westeros, posing a threat to anything living. Number 15. ARCHIMON from Warcraft games. ARCHIMON was the left hand of the fallen titan Sargeras. ARCHIMON was one of the greatest and darkest of the Eredar. His ruthless and cunning personality quickly earned him station and power within the Eredar ranks until finally he was one of the first among them. He is described as one of the lieutenants and generals of the demon titan Sargeras. ARCHIMON is easily over 25,000 years old, as he was already an Eredar leader those many years ago before being corrupted by the demon titan. Number 14. The God Emperor of Mankind from the game Warhammer 40k. The Emperor of Mankind is the immortal perpetual and a god who serves as the ruling monarch of the Imperium of Man. The Chaos Gods and the demons of the warp refer to him as the Anathema, for he is the greatest embodiment of the universal order in the galaxy today. As the Carrion Lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed each day so that he may never truly die, the Emperor of Mankind has his origins in Anatolia in 8000 BC, and so in the 41st millennium he is over 48,000 years old. At number 13 comes SAURON from the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings movies. SAURON was one of the mightiest of the Maiar. Originally of Owl's people, he acquired great scientific knowledge of the world's substances and how to use them. He would retain this knowledge throughout his tenure as the Dark Lord's servant. SAURON also seemed to be primarily linked with the use of fire, and as Morgoth's chief lieutenant, his ability to tap into the fires in the earth was of great value. The Maiar, like Sauron, were older than planet Arda, so he is over 55,000 years old, since that is the age of the world in Tolkien's works. Number 12. Surtur from the movie Thor Ragnarok. Surtur was the ruler of Muspelheim, prophesied to be the one to initiate Ragnarok. Surtur was successfully defeated by Odin, who stole from him the source of his power, the eternal flame, before banishing him and his entire race to Muspelheim. In Ragnarok, it is mentioned that Odin defeated Surtur 500,000 years ago and was not seen again since then. And he was older than Odin, so he could be easily over 1,000,000 years old. Number 11. Optimus Prime in the IDW comics. Born as Orion Pax, the robot eventually known as Optimus Prime would rise slowly but surely to fame, first as a law officer unafraid to stand up for justice, then as a great and powerful military leader who led the line against Megatron's Decepticons on Cybertron and across the galaxy. As the first legitimate Prime in many ages, heir to the matrix of leadership, Optimus Prime is revered by many and reviled by some, but always as a powerful presence in and out of battle. In this timeline, he is around 4 to 6 million years old. Number 10. The Precursors from the Pacific Rim universe. Precursors are a race of colonizing aliens from the Antiverse and the creators of the Kaiju. They are spindly creatures who stand over 12 feet tall and are capable of living for millions of years because time flows differently in the Antiverse. Their appearance is akin to that of an aquatic insect. They have translucent wings and shell-like bodies that reveal their internal system. In 2013, they reopened the portal to Earth established during the Triassic period, maybe around 210 million years ago, as during that time, the CO2 levels were pretty low and they needed a high CO2 level to survive in. So we can easily say that the precursor species have been present for at least 210 or 250 million years ago during the Triassic period. Number 9. Godzilla and the other titans from the MONSTERVERSE franchise. The King of the Monsters was given a radically new origin story that deviates from the previously established origin of him being mutated by the hydrogen bomb. In Godzilla Awakening, the prequel to Godzilla, Godzilla is explained to be an ancient life form from the Permian period. He and the other titans from Earth hibernated and fed upon Earth's thermal radiation for millions of years following the loss of radiation in the Earth's surface. He is thought to be around 260 million years old. Number 8. Destroyer from the Toho Heisei timeline. Destroyer is a crustacean kaiju created by Toho that first appeared in the 1995 Godzilla film, Godzilla vs. Destroyer, and is the film's main antagonist. Destroyer receives its name from the film when Dr. Yuijin witnesses the monster's juvenile forms merge together into their aggregate form. He remarks that the micro-oxygen does not have that kind of power, and that these creatures have become the living oxygen destroyer, giving it the name Destroyer. But these tiny microorganisms that mutated into Destroyer were over 540 million years old. At number 7, we get the Graboids from the TREMORS franchise. Graboid is a fictional invertebrate species that is the primary antagonist of the TREMORS franchise. The creature made its debut in the 1990 film Tremors. Graboids are depicted as subterranean animals superficially resembling gigantic worms or larvae. With long serpentine bodies, when fully grown, a mature American graboid can measure up to 30 feet long and 6 feet across at its widest point and may weigh around 10 to 20 tons. These animals appeared first on Earth around 600 million years ago. At number 6, we have the Engineers from the Xenomorph universe. The Engineers are also known as pilots after the individual discovered on LV-426, or also as space jockeys. They are an ancient extraterrestrial species of unknown origin. They possess some of the most advanced technology in the entire galaxy, with special emphasis placed on their skills in genetic engineering. Credited with the creation of mankind and the seeding of life on Earth billions of years ago, these aliens have a lifespan of around 150 years, but they have existed for billions of years, and they can hibernate or be in cryostasis for thousands of years. Number 5. Steppenwolf from the DCEU. Steppenwolf from the Justice League is a new god of apocalypse and the uncle of Darkseid. He leads the Apocalyptian army in his nephew's honor. Steppenwolf was born billions of years ago on a distant planet Apocalypse as a new god alongside his nephew Darkseid, who rules over the planet. Over the years, Steppenwolf managed to master his powers, abilities and skills, and was chosen to be the supreme military leader of the Apocalyptian military. Steppenwolf is a tyrant just like his own nephew, and he might have been around 12 or 13 billion years old. Number 4. Cthulhu, from the Call of Cthulhu. He is a great old one of great power that lies in a death-like slumber beneath the Pacific Ocean in his sunken city of R'lyeh. He remains a dominant presence in the eldritch dealings of our world. The most detailed descriptions of Cthulhu is in the Call of Cthulhu are based on statues of the creature. One constructed by an artist after a series of dreams is said to have yielded simultaneous pictures of an octopus, a dragon and a human caricature. He arrived on Earth 175 million years ago, but his age is close to the beginning of the universe, around 12 to 13 billion years old. Number 3. Unicron from the Transformers Prime timeline. Unicron is the true main antagonist of the Transformers Prime. Before the dawn of time, he is known as the bringer of chaos, the lord of the undead, and one of the main sources of evil in the entire universe, and the very source of dark energon. As an immortal and eternal being with immense power, Unicron is the eternal arch-enemy of his twin brother, Primus, the creator of the Transformer race. He was created along Primus around 13 billion years ago. Number 2. The Dark Elves in Thor: The Dark World. The MCU Dark Elves are the oldest known species in existence, hailing from the obscure realm of Svartalfheim. They are one of the mortal enemies of the Asgardians, and the others are the Frost Giants. Some members of their race, the Dark Elves, have been shown to have the fortitude to wield the power of an Infinity Stone. They are now presumed to be critically endangered as a species or even extinct, though they have been in existence before the universe came into being around 13.7 billion years ago or even older. And at the number 1 spot comes Galactus from the Marvel Comics. Galactus is the sole survivor of the 6th incarnation of the multiverse. Originally, Galactus was a humanoid named Galan, born in the previous incarnation of Earth 616 on planet Tar, a paradise-like world whose civilization is said to have been the most advanced of any of the known universe of that time. However, the 6th Infinity and all its universes were in the final stages of collapse due to the multiversal renewal cycle, so everything was recycled except for him, who survived the fall, and so he holds the top spot as being the oldest being or monster in this list. And yes, with that comes the end of the list, and we could have missed out on a lot more, and do hope that you would comment on another list for us to make as a part 2. Anyway, do like, share and subscribe for more videos related to monsters, kaiju and more.